Hey YouTube, welcome back. Icon here. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and really break down the comms in the map 4 of OpTic's most recent victory over the Paris Legion. If you've been following on Twitter or across the CODLeague, a lot of people have been getting OpTic a ton of praise for their comms during the listen-in in this map 4. So, being that those guys aren't streaming currently, I figured we could go through, we could listen to what exactly they're saying, break down each and every movement, because sometimes things are happening so quickly that a lot of that can be really tough to miss. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to do. As we go ahead and flip over the scene here, as we pick up with this, you can see the score in the top middle. It is currently 113-48. We are inside of P4, and there's about 40 seconds left inside the current hard point. Now, if we go ahead and we zoom in just a little bit closer on the minimap, you can see right here that we're currently inside the P4 hard point. So as this is about to rotate, yes, OpTic is down by a lot, but the bigger issue is that they're over here on the left-hand side of the map, and P1 is here, which is contested time. P2 is over on this right-hand side. So if they want to make their way to that side of the hill, they have to go ahead, they have to push through either this bottom street or go through mid jump up, or you could also go through BSND right here. But you want to try to flip so that you're on that side of the map for P2, and that's what we're going to be watching, at least initially, as we go throughout this listen in. So without further ado, let's go ahead. I'm not going to talk throughout it. I'm going to let you guys hear exactly what's happening, and then I'll stop it, bring up the minimap, and really break down what we're seeing.
For OpTic Chicago, let's go to an Astro listen-in with OpTic.
One back behind me.
Yeah.
Both sides. Behind you, bus.
The rest in the back.
All in the back. That's behind you, bus. One in bus, one back up, one shot.
I'm
Mid.
Bus he's close, right side bus.
Behind car and hill. Zap weak. One shot hill, Zap, absolute. He's
I need
under rat. Outside rat,
Zap
one shot.
now, in rat.
Another
I've
rat. They're still spawning on guys.
Bus,
Bunny bus. One shot.
Yeah, he's one bullet bus.
He's bull bus. I'm gonna go new.
Bus.
Ready to?
One more. Wood door scraps. Last guy.
Yo, Seth, when you spawn, fill
Glass.
in right?
He's going glass. Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I want to talk about here is in the last 10 seconds or so, you heard Formal come through and he said, I'm going to go new. You heard Dashy say he is also going to go new. And you heard Formal tell Scum to fill Eskies when he comes up off of spawn. And of course, all throughout this, all of this information is constantly being taken in. If we just go through and just look at the kill feed in the left-hand side, Scum just died. So it's not like this is something that's happened for a while. So let's go ahead, let's zoom in on the minimap. And as we take a peek, let's just draw exactly what we're seeing here. So Formal is your number 5 arrow right here. He was posted up on this side of bottom street, watching the cross here or watching any push from either bus or that inside corner, this position right here. When he said he's going to rotate new, he is rotating through this way just to make sure that nobody is hitting their flank. You also saw Dashy, so Dashy is also going to be rotating into the new hard point. And when Scump comes up off of spawn, right now there are currently 2 seconds left inside the current hard point. So if you're Scump, you want to make sure that you hold your spawn until the P1 hill pops. You're going to get this back spawn, and you heard Formal tell him when he comes up off of spawn to fill this Eskies lane, so to go up top. So as they rotate over, again, most important thing is just making sure that they're locking down P2. So they do that by having Dashy watching the lower lane, having Envoy contesting inside the hill with Formal behind him, and having Scump fill the upper lane. So now that they have all 3 of these lanes filled, they can go ahead and start their approach into the P1 hard point. Let's go ahead. Let's listen back in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
In new right side to go. And one glass.
No,
Right
I
side,
spawn street.
Glass.
Glass together. He's not peeking me.
Glass, another one time on me. Scraps, one shot time.
I need him. One shot time.
Laying down back right.
Nice.
Glass, absolutely.
Glass dead.
Yeah, perfect. Sit down the hill, do not overchill.
One Eskies.
I have a trophy in you, Brandon.
Nothing street.
Just don't die in hill, we're
Yeah,
good.
here.
We're set up. Seth, I'm watching your deep tree, Seth.
You have deep street? Okay, I'm watching my rat.
Eskies dead.
Nice shot,
Nice.
Bill.
Another one Eskies.
Real quick, I know that it's really tough to hear some of this stuff, but you just heard Formal say, I have your deep street. So you heard Scum say, I have street. You heard Formal say, Seth, I have your deep street. All that means is if we go ahead and look at this mini map here, Scump was pushed up here and he was watching this street in this direction. But some of those gun battles, if he peeks out and there's somebody back here on this heady or over here towards bus, there's a really good chance that he loses that gun battle. So you heard Formal say that I have your deep street, and essentially all that does is Formal's a number 5 arrow right here. He's going to be looking over top of Scump to tell him if anybody's coming. This way he can't get killed or taken by surprise, and all Scump does is just turn around and he's going to watch this jump out of this window. So if you're Paris and you wanted to push that bottom street, now if you go this way through bottom street, Formal's going to see it. If you try to go through the open window right here, Scump's going to see it. So those two seamlessly working together to make sure nobody pushes out that bottom street on them.
All good, where'd he go?
One was
I have
last.
deep street, still have deep street.
He's holding their side Eskies.
One still got, yo, deep street really ran out. Turn,
I hear
turn.
it. I got him.
Nice,
Absolute.
Excuse me, guys.
Absolute, dead.
I realized that time.
And right there, again, if Scump is just head glitching that wall, there's a good chance that he dies. But you heard Formal tell him that there is one deep street. And as soon as he figured that out, he knows where that person is. So he can immediately push and get the jump on him. Really good communication and teamwork right there.
Yeah, right there, how much of them down?
Nice.
Nice,
Let's
nice,
get
nice,
out.
nice.
Yo, push my ender,
Drops. I don't know where he went.
He's laying down. What's up? Backside hill. Nice.
I'm after. He's gonna be Eskies. He's gonna be Eskies.
Yo, glass.
Glass.
Pick
Pick
up
up,
one
pick
shot,
up,
Yo, Eskies to hold. Two Eskies to hold.
Eyes
Under
on
window.
One shot.
Run away.
Window down.
Run away.
I am.
You can be front set.
All right, I want to point this out real quick because they just told Scump to run away, and that's really important. So about a few seconds before that, you heard Envoy say that I'm spawning out. So essentially what that means is that they don't have a ton of pressure over on the right-hand side of the map. And as you see by the arrows down here towards the bottom, you can see that these two Paris players are pushing the bottom side of the map. And as soon as they get to that bottom globe area of the map, if you don't have pressure over on the right-hand side over by P2, that's going to force you to cause out. So what you see right here from Envoy is he spawned out, he relayed that to his teammates, and Scump was able to get a kill on Zapdius, who is currently inside of P1 right here. But rather than take that next gun battle while he's wounded and run the risk of dying, they tell Scum to back up just so that they can make sure that they're locking down this SPAC spawn area of the map so that when Formal comes up and Dashy comes up, the rest of the team spawns in, they can spawn here and they can have their main ARs watching these two advances while your two SMGs watch through mid and eventually through Eskies, right? Because Envoy is going to come back, and as long as Paris doesn't get any advancement down towards the bottom of the map, that's going to take them, that's going to spawn them where Envoy is currently at right now, and then the SMGs can watch the push through top Eskies area of the map. Let's go ahead and let's listen back in.
Yep. I'm a pitch man.
No,
I'm
you
a
can't
pitch
shoot.
man.
Huge kills are here, guys. Huge kills are here. I'm
Pitching man,
coming
They could be a mid. They could be a
I'm coming
mid.
front. They're deep street.
Yeah, I'm looking for deep street. I'm looking for deep street.
I'm watching my
coming
mid.
up,
I'm watching my mid.
I
I'll
don't
give
see
you
deep
deep street. I'll
street.
give you deep street. I'll give you deep street.
Could be side.
Deep street down. Deep street down.
Planter's dead.
I'm looking. Yo, deep street on the truck. Donnie, dead.
Nice,
Nice.
nice. Back side,
Maybe
back side.
one more.
Outside,
Yo, get time.
Deep street. You're like, oh my god. Go.
I got time.
Where they
I'm holding.
Right there, you hear Formal popping off a little bit. You hear Envoy with a little bit of encouragement. You always need positivity like that. Formal got a massive two-piece over towards the bottom side of the map. And again, as we look at the minimap, you can now see that those Paris players, like we were just talking about, if they're not able to push up the bottom side of the map, they're going to spawn over towards P3, exactly like we said before. That's where Envoy was.
I have mid.
Right now, it's all mid. Stay on for front.
Yeah,
Two
I
mid.
am.
Okay,
Help me.
P1.
It can be P1.
They
They
can
can be.
You have my front? You have my front?
Yeah, I do. Watch.
Keep watching my front.
Two mid window and one street.
Look at my window. Mid window, Donnie.
Window Donnie. Yep.
Oh, Seth.
Yo, Seth.
Two mid window.
I'm getting him.
Yeah, two mid window. There's two
Window
mid
right now.
Grab Sam.
Julie, dead.
Grab Sam.
Hold on.
Joe, I'll tell you what. Maybe.
And there you go. You do have a little bit more in terms of conversation there, but it seems like there's so much happens that in a 60-second listen in that it's really easy to miss a ton of that conversation. And all of it is super important, knowing where people die, where you're going to spawn, where to rotate, the 3 lanes that you have to watch. That's part of what has started to turn things around for them. They didn't have the best stage 3 in in terms of their group play and the playoffs, but as of late, they are starting to come back a little bit, and a lot of that has to do with how good their communication has been as of late. So with that, if you're new around here, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this sort of breakdown material, leave a like if you don't mind, as it really helps out the channel. And with that, enjoy the games this upcoming weekend, which will decide the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket for the next major. I am Icon. We'll see you guys in the next upload.